Picture this. She's standing right in front of you, her body subtly shifting, her eyes holding secrets that most men completely miss. Every gesture, every fleeting touch, every glance is a language of its own, a language that speaks directly to desire. Yet, most men overlook these signals, dismissing them as coincidence or habit. What if you could read her body like an open book? What if you could understand with absolute clarity when she is attracted, when she's intrigued, and even when she's aching for intimacy? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. Welcome to Cleopatra Casanova, where we dive deep into the psychology behind human behavior, love language, and the unspoken cues of attraction. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn how women communicate desire without saying a single word, how subtle signals, from the way she bites her lips to the way her hips sway, reveal her inner thoughts and fantasies. This isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. Understanding these cues will allow you to connect more deeply, respond confidently, and never miss the chance to ignite mutual attraction. Women's bodies are incredibly expressive, and when you know what to look for, the messages are unmistakable. Whether it's a lingering touch, a shift in posture, or a gaze that holds yours a second too long, each movement tells a story. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped to recognize these erotic signals and respond in a way that heightens intimacy and desire. So stick with me, because after watching this, you'll never see her gestures the same way again. And before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to Cleopatra Casanova so you never miss powerful insights into love, attraction, and human behavior. 1. Lips, the silent invitation. One of the most overlooked indicators of a woman's desire is her lips. They're not just tools for speech or expression, they're a window into her subconscious arousal. When a woman bites, licks, or subtly parts her lips in your presence, it's rarely accidental. Psychologists studying nonverbal communication have found that lip movements are a strong indicator of nervous excitement and sexual tension. Why does this happen? When a woman is attracted or aroused, her body undergoes subtle physiological changes. Blood flow increases to her lips, making them slightly fuller and more sensitive. Biting or licking her lips becomes an instinctive response, a way to manage the tension coursing through her. It's a quiet, almost unconscious signal of her mind being consumed by erotic thoughts. She may hesitate to voice her desires, but her lips betray her inner state. This gesture also serves a self-soothing function. By gently biting or moistening her lips, she calms herself while simultaneously signaling attraction. The act is intimate without being overt, making it a subtle but powerful tool in her nonverbal repertoire. When you notice this behavior, especially if it occurs repeatedly while she's engaged with you, it's a strong indication that her mind is exploring fantasies about you, your touch, your presence, or even a potential kiss. The context is crucial. A casual lip bite while laughing at a joke is different from a slow, deliberate nibble during a private moment. The latter is almost always a clear marker of sexual interest. Women often use their lips to test the waters, to see if you're attuned to the signals they're sending. If you respond with confidence, through attentive eye contact or mirroring subtle gestures, you reinforce the attraction she's already feeling. Understanding this cue is not about pressure, it's about awareness. Recognizing lip-based signals allows you to perceive desire where most men see only ordinary behavior. It's an invitation, silent yet unmistakable, to step closer and connect on a deeper level. Pay attention, and you'll find that the language of lips is one of the most reliable indicators of sexual readiness and romantic interest. 2. Touch, the warm invitation. When it comes to expressing desire, a woman's touch speaks louder than words. Unlike direct verbal advances, which some women may feel hesitant to make, touch allows them to communicate sexual interest subtly yet effectively. Research in physical affection and interpersonal attraction shows that when a woman is aroused, her body instinctively seeks connection, often through small but deliberate gestures. These gestures can be as simple as a brush of her hand against your arm, a casual touch on your shoulder, or a lingering contact on your hand. Each touch is layered with meaning, testing comfort levels, gauging your response, and simultaneously signaling interest. It's a language of intimacy where every subtle stroke carries a message. She wants closeness, she wants attention, and she's inviting interaction. The psychology behind this behavior is fascinating. When a woman feels aroused, her body releases oxytocin, the love hormone, which increases feelings of attachment and physical desire. This chemical response drives her to seek proximity and initiate subtle touches. If her hand ventures toward more sensitive or intimate areas, such as your inner arm, back, or thigh, she is testing boundaries while signaling heightened sexual readiness. These movements are rarely accidental. They are conscious or semi-conscious attempts to express desire without overtly stating it. Context again matters. A casual touch during a conversation may seem innocent, but a touch that lingers, repeats, or is paired with other signs of arousal like lip biting or prolonged eye contact is a powerful cue. Women use these touches to gauge your reaction. If you respond positively, her confidence and desire often increase, leading to more open displays of affection. Physical contact is not only about sexual signals, it's about emotional connection. A touch conveys trust, familiarity, and comfort, all of which heighten sexual chemistry. In fact, studies show that the more a woman touches a partner she's attracted to, the more her own arousal and emotional engagement intensify. It becomes a cycle. Subtle touch sparks closeness, which fuels desire, which encourages more intimate gestures. For anyone attuned to these cues, touch becomes an unmistakable language of attraction. Recognizing the difference between casual contact and deliberate intimacy signals is key to understanding her unspoken desire. The moment you notice her seeking connection through touch, you're witnessing a silent yet potent invitation, a signal that she is ready, waiting, and interested in more than just conversation. 3. Hips, the ancient signal. A woman's hips have long been one of the most primal and powerful indicators of sexual availability. Across cultures and throughout history, the way a woman moves her hips has been unconsciously associated with fertility, attractiveness, and desire. When a woman is aroused or interested, subtle changes in her posture and movement often manifest in her hips, sending signals that most men overlook. From an evolutionary perspective, the sway of her hips is deeply rooted in mating behavior. Studies in body language, including the research of psychologist Dr. Carl Grammer, show that when a woman is aware she is being observed, her hip movements become more deliberate, fluid, and accentuated. This motion draws attention to her curves, signaling reproductive fitness and sexual openness without a word being spoken. It's a natural, instinctive display designed to attract attention while remaining subtle. The key lies in observation. When she walks, stands, or even shifts her weight during conversation, a pronounced yet graceful movement of the hips often indicates heightened arousal. It's not an exaggerated or forced gesture. Rather, it's the natural rhythm of a body responding to desire. Women may also use their hips to guide attention toward their lower body, subtly inviting engagement or signaling comfort with intimacy. These movements are often paired with other nonverbal cues. For example, when she combines a seductive hip sway with a lingering touch or a glance that meets yours, the signals become nearly impossible to ignore. Each gesture reinforces the others, creating a coherent message of interest and sexual readiness. Hips also communicate confidence. A woman who moves with purpose, aware of her physical presence, is expressing not just attraction but also self-assurance. This confidence amplifies her appeal and makes her signals more noticeable to someone who is attuned to body language. The rhythm of her motion can mirror a subtle dance, a visual invitation that taps into both primal instincts and conscious perception. Understanding hip signals is about noticing patterns rather than isolated movements. A casual step or shift in stance is different from the slow, intentional sway that occurs when she's aware of your attention. The latter is a signal that she's engaged, present, and likely thinking about intimacy. By observing these subtle movements, you gain insight into her desire and can respond in ways that deepen connection and attraction. Ultimately, a woman's hips tell a story her words often do not. When combined with other body language cues, lip movements, touch, and eye contact, the sway of her hips becomes a compelling signal of arousal, desire, and invitation. Recognizing this ancient form of nonverbal communication allows you to connect on both a psychological and physical level, giving you an unmatched advantage in understanding her intentions. 4. Eyes. Windows to desire. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but when it comes to attraction and desire, they are also powerful indicators of sexual interest. A woman's gaze can communicate curiosity, intrigue, and arousal without a single word. Observing her eyes closely can reveal much more than her verbal expressions ever could. One of the most telling signals is pupil dilation. When a woman is attracted or aroused, her pupils automatically expand due to a neurological response linked to the brain's release of dopamine, the pleasure chemical. This reaction is involuntary and difficult to fake, making it one of the most reliable indicators of sexual interest. If you notice her pupils enlarging when she looks at you, paired with subtle shifts in her body language, it's a strong cue that her mind is exploring erotic thoughts. Beyond pupil size, the duration and intensity of eye contact can also reveal desire. Women often hold a gaze slightly longer than usual when they are interested, even if they try to glance away. This subtle back and forth, a glance, a flicker of the eyes downward toward your lips, followed by a quick return to your gaze, signals that she is processing attraction while maintaining some degree of control. Prolonged eye contact releases oxytocin in both people, which heightens feelings of intimacy and desire, creating a silent connection that can be intensely magnetic. The softening of the gaze is another indicator. When her eyes lose sharpness and her eyelids slightly droop, it often reflects comfort, openness, and arousal. A soft, lingering look can communicate vulnerability and attraction, allowing you to read her emotional state. Coupled with other cues, such as lip biting or subtle touches, the eyes create a comprehensive picture of her unspoken desire. It's not just about watching, it's about interpreting patterns. A quick glance might be casual, but repeated glances that coincide with her leaning closer, touching her hair, or shifting her posture indicate increasing sexual tension. Her eyes become an unintentional mirror of her thoughts. What she cannot say aloud, she often reveals in her gaze. Understanding these visual cues allows you to respond appropriately and confidently. Meeting her gaze, maintaining gentle eye contact, or acknowledging her signals subtly can reinforce attraction, making her feel seen and understood. Ignoring these cues, on the other hand, may lead to missed opportunities, as much of a woman's nonverbal communication is encoded in these fleeting yet telling glances. In short, the eyes are one of the most powerful channels through which a woman communicates desire. Observing, interpreting, and responding to her gaze can elevate attraction, deepen intimacy, and make her feel an unspoken but undeniable connection. Paying attention to the windows of her desire ensures you never miss the signals she's sending. 5. Voice, the subtle temptation. A woman's voice can be one of the most understated yet revealing indicators of attraction and sexual interest. Beyond the words she speaks, the tone, pitch, and rhythm of her speech can convey subtle desire that many men overlook. Psychology and communication studies show that women unconsciously adjust their voices when they are aroused or trying to signal interest. One of the primary changes is pitch modulation. When a woman is attracted to someone, her voice often becomes slightly higher, softer, or more melodic. This occurs because sexual arousal triggers physiological changes, including increased blood flow and heightened sensitivity in the vocal cords. Even small shifts in tone can communicate intimacy, approachability, and subtle flirtation. A gentle, melodic voice may draw attention and subconsciously signal sexual readiness, making her more alluring without a single explicit statement. Speech patterns also provide clues. Women may speak more slowly, pause strategically, or emphasize certain words when they are interested. These variations are often unconscious. They're her body and mind signaling curiosity, attentiveness, and arousal. For instance, she may elongate vowels when talking directly to you, creating an almost hypnotic rhythm that draws you in. Paired with eye contact or a playful smile, these vocal cues become an unmistakable marker of attraction. Another indicator is laughter and breathiness. A light, airy laugh or a slightly breathy tone can reflect excitement, nervousness, and desire. This is particularly true in private or intimate settings where she feels comfortable expressing herself subtly. Breathiness often accompanies physical arousal, revealing heightened physiological response to your presence. Even when she isn't overtly flirting, the cadence of her speech can betray erotic thoughts, giving you insight into her interest. It's important to consider context. A friendly conversation with casual tone differs significantly from a deliberate, soft, and engaging voice directed toward you. When combined with other nonverbal cues, like lingering touches, lip movements, or eye contact, her vocal patterns become a powerful part of the attraction puzzle. Ignoring these signals risks missing an essential layer of communication. Understanding and responding to vocal cues requires attentiveness. Matching her tone, engaging in meaningful conversation, or playfully responding to her subtle shifts in speech can reinforce attraction. The voice is a bridge between subconscious desire and conscious interaction, a channel through which she communicates interest without exposing vulnerability too directly. In essence, the way a woman speaks, the softness, pitch, rhythm, and breathiness acts as a subtle invitation. By paying attention to her vocal nuances, you gain access to another layer of her unspoken desires. Recognizing these signals ensures that you're not just hearing her words, but also understanding the deeper message of attraction and readiness she's sending. Understanding a woman's body language, vocal cues, posture, and microexpressions gives you the power to decode her unspoken desire. From lip bites and lingering touches to hip sways, eye contact, and subtle facial signals, every gesture tells a story of attraction and readiness. By observing, interpreting, and responding to these signs, you can deepen intimacy, heighten sexual chemistry, and connect on a level most men never notice. Remember, desire is often communicated silently. Your ability to read it confidently ensures you never miss an opportunity to meet her unspoken needs.